YouTube? It's JSauce back again with another video, and today we have NPBA Week 7 versus the Midwest Misfits and Coach Zach, also known as AjaxInferno. Um, no logo, so I went ahead and made a quick one based on what his team was. Obviously, you'll see it in the builder. Um, we're coming off an awesome close game versus my buddy Sam. We both played our hearts out. I mean, I came up on top, and it was a really good win for me because keeps my head high, keeps me rolling, and you know I've not checked the standings, but I think Zach came out with a win last week. I could be wrong, but I believe he did. So this is gonna be a good match. This is gonna be a good match. Let's just get straight into the team building. So yeah, as you can see, Zach's team, it's got a truly endless um, amount of threats on it. And just start off, the first thing you notice, let's address the elephant in the room. It's screens and setup. Like he every week he could just bring screens and 5 different setup mods, but if he doesn't want to, he's got stuff like Ditto, stuff like Deoxys and Swampert, which can all be super annoying. It's a very annoying team. Now, that being said, there's a few, um, not necessarily holes, but there's stuff you'd want to see. No electric or grass type, which means he has a very difficult time breaking bulky waters. It's very encore and taunt prone. And there's a few just core types missing. No steel type. Your fairy type is sacrificing itself to put up screens. It's just it, it does well what it wants to do well, but I'm just not sold on the team without screens. It's still a good team, There's a reason he's at 500 with a positive differential, or actually, he doesn't have positive differential, but the matches have been improving. His matches have been improving throughout the weeks, and there's a reason for that. Uh, he's learning how to play it, which is scary for me. Um, so yeah, I'll just go ahead and get into my team building. First thing I noticed though, his team was extremely rocks weak. And so what I do about it, well, I brought no Stealth Rocks users. You're probably saying, JSauce, what the fuck, you dumbass? He's got one, two, three, 4 mons weak to it, and then you get chip everything else down. Which, like, fair enough, but I figure it is so Stealth Rock weak, and I love bringing Fortress, uh, which helps with Titan, which helps with um, Roaring Moon to an extent. I figured he would assume I'd bring Hazard Stack, and he just run heavy duty boots on everything. And I don't know if it's a gamble worth paying off, but I figured all 6 mons I brought were had more value, especially if he did bring heavy duty boots. So let's start off. Again, first thing I noticed, uh, Chi-Yu, Dark Pulse, and Fire Move. No switch-ins. I mean, yeah, he could have Flash, Fire, Terra, Fairy, or Fighting, or whatever on Ledge, but then we forced the Terra away from Cresselia. Win in my book. Um, and if he doesn't bring Swampert, because Swampert looks bad into my team because of these two right here, that's even better. I I think she's gonna go off this week. Um, then we have Screamtail, which does Screamtail things. I originally had Calm Mind and Prison Stored Power with Boost Energy Speed. It was super funny, but like wasn't that good. And then if Crest got brought, or if Crest did not get brought, it literally had no role. So I just brought Wish 2 stabs because Iron Moth does not want to take a Psyshock on a switch in, and D-Gleam hits Roaring Moon. No pass, no protect this week because I got the lefty. And Roar just so Crest doesn't, because he's got so much setup mons, if he tries to bring in Titan on me, it's getting roared immediately. Crest gets roared, can't touch me. So that's the reason why. That's kind of how I was dealing with those setup mons. Which ties into my next. It's just mixed defense, by the way. Which ties into my next mod, which is Iron Bundle. Boost energy speed, the tried the true. But it's got Encore, which, because of speed booster, can switch in at safely eventually. Like if I sack something on Roaring Moon, on what's it called? Titan, because Titan always gets outsped, even if it's timid or jolly or whatever. And then stuff like Saraledge also gets Encored. Encore's just such a good move. I'm really glad I have a bunch of users of it because it's so helpful. And then, the 3 stabs from Iron Bundle that go insane. Next, we have Flame Orb Jolteon. And I didn't originally want to do Flame Orb, but I decided I kind of had to, I guess, because I want another option to run or to beat Slush Rush the Titan, and if Roaring Moon got +1. Now, I originally had Terra Steel, so I could lead this versus Ninetales and kill it, and then resist an Ice Shard. I went to Terra Grass, which isn't good into his team at all, actually, for a Terra type. But if he brought Swampert, I didn't want it. I wanted to wear it down, especially for a Chi-Yu late game. And so I brought that. If he brought Rendo, it's oh well, because that just means he didn't bring Yachi. And so that's like that. Speed creep, like I said, for +2 Jolly's to Titan. Gotta outspeed that. Next we have Scarf Tapu Bulu. Because his best switch in is Iron Moth. That takes 40 from. Oh man, this is why my set didn't save. Okay, hold on a second. We got what hammer we got. It literally doesn't matter right now, but I'm just gonna do it because I can. Okay, this is the set, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We started the game, and I led this turn 1 and realized that my moves weren't changed. This is why, because I copied the poke paste of this and didn't change it. But yeah, his best Woodhammer switch in, Iron Moth, takes 40, which is pretty good because it's a quad resist. Roaring Moon takes 60, and nothing else can switch into it. I guess Saraledge can, and it gets a weak armor boost. They're not Flash Fire for Chi-Yu, and then if you're not weak armor, I would say it's probably a 2-hit KO. And then we've got high horsepower for these two, uh, just because I can, and Smart Strike, really for these two, predominantly Ninetales. And this is my decade lead because if he doesn't lead Ninetales or Iron Moth, I just Woodhammer. And then it's forced to take a switch. If he leads one of the two, I kill it turn 1 because I don't think he expects the Choice Scarf. Finally, we have Heavy Duty Boots, Sweeper Salamence. Heavy Duty Boots is just so um, it's really for Deoxys and Swampert in case one of the two gets brought. I just don't want to take rock damage on my Sweeper. I could have went Okaberry. That wouldn't have been a bad play because he's got 2 fire types. I'm Terra Steel. Now, I should have been Terra Water, but quite frankly, I was greedy and wanted the Iron Head buff, and um, it still resisted Ice Shard, so I didn't really care. Um, but yeah, Iron Head, Outrage, Earthquake, Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance, or Outrage, is because if you look, his fairy type is Old Ninetales, which I'm planning to kill turn 1 or turn 2, and I'm willing to bet it's not going to stay stay around long, which means Outrage goes absolutely insane because he has, if Ninetales is gone, he's got no fairy and no steel type, which means, especially coupled with Moxie, it's going to be going insane. But yeah, that's the team. The team names don't get 6-0'd by Cress again, because last time I played Cress with Terra, I got 6-0'd by my boy Phony. And speaking of, I'd like to thank Phony and Felom for mocking for me this week. And yeah, let's get into the battle. Okay, first thing I notice is no Swampert, no Deoxys. That's good. He committed to the uh, Aurora Veil and 5 setup mons, which isn't that bad against me. So, yeah, like I said, Tapu Bulu is my designated lead, so I lead it. And he goes Iron Moth, so turn 1, my head's empty. If he Scarf Iron Moth and he Sludge Waves me, then that's fucking tough. But if he Fire Dances me, I believe I live and I kill this back. Ideally, he's not Scarf Moth, and I don't have to save this just to get the knowledge. But I figure it's either booster. I'm willing to bet it's either boost energy or heavy duty boots if this is an Iron Moth. So he goes Forbidden Mouse, so that reveals right there to me. Uh, he doesn't know that I know he has to be Scarf, but I know he has to be Scarf, which is good, and I know it's disguised as Iron Moth. So I go straight for the high horsepower. Maybe he thinks I'm AV. Probably not from that damage, but maybe he thinks I'm a resist berry or something. Um, so yeah, I immediately switch out into my Chi-Yu because it has to go for a ghost move. And now I have the freest dark move in the world, or maybe I clicked Flamethrower, I forget. I clicked Flamethrower, does a good chunk. I mean, 33 is pretty good. And then, of course, my head's empty. I just went to Screamtail because that's how I know to counter this. And goes out to Ninetales, good play. I can't really touch it. So I Degleam, and then Aurora Veil, so I wish. And then he switches out, and I pass straight into my Chi-Yu, in case this one's a Moonblast. So I don't double. I switch out into Screamtail because, again, Roar counters this more or less. He has Power Gem, which is a really good bring against my team. My team is very rock weak, and Terra Electric is just always annoying. I'm surprised no Terra Poison because I originally had. I actually didn't want to be T-Waved by my Screamtail. I originally had Toxic on Tapu Bulu. It was Toxic, Nature's Madness, um, Horn Leech, and like Roar or something. But Terra Poison Crest kinda haunted me, and I'm glad he's not bringing it. So I just do I roar out here? Yeah, I roar out because I didn't know if he's gonna try Calm Mind on me. Goodbye to Titan, no setup. Goes back into Little Ninetales, was perfect because it forces out a switch. So I just wish back up, and I go into my Salamence to see what he wants to do. He fiery dances, which is interesting, but I he gets the boost, it's like fine. No booster energy, so in my head I'm assuming that this is heavy duty boots because I don't think you make that play. I don't think you fiery dance if you're scarf or spec because it just doesn't make sense to me when I'm so weak to poison. Um, so I'm expecting a dazzling gleam here. So I Terra Steel and Dragon Dance on the Ninetales of Lola. And then he sacks his dude, his Hisuian Zoroark. Speaking of, if you guys remember, I had that mod, and all I'm gonna say is Tapu Bulu has been putting in the works ever since I dropped it, and I still, um, I'm glad he's using it. I'm glad he used it against me, but like I said, that mod did nothing. Um, so now he goes into his Iron Moth, and my dumbass, I'll spoil it right now. I sack this thing because I'm like, oh, he's not fucking Scarf. He's not fucking Scarf and clicked Fiery Dance the first time. Why would he? I'm just cringing at myself for making this play. Why would he switch this in if he wasn't Scarf other than to scare me? Um, so yeah, Salamence goes down, and he gets the boost because of my stupid ass. But like I said, T just gets a free switch. I click Overheat because I was expecting a Roaring Moon, and it probably would have done 45, which is just good chip. Like, that's really all it's for chip. But I catch Cresselia on the switch, which is nice. Does a 70 with the leftovers, gets up to 36. I have a roll, ladies and gentlemen. I have a coin flip left. I want to. Do I want to take this roll, or do I want to play it safe? I don't know about you guys, but Cress has terrorized me game in and game out every time I play it. And I've seen Zach's Crest do huge things. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to take the risk. And I overheat again, hit, and it's dead. That's huge. Now, I do have to switch here so you can get a free DD on Roaring Moon, or just get, what's it called? A Veil Up, but he does go Roaring Moon. I switch into Scream Tail because that's how I deal with it. Dazzling Gleam does not kill, but I live 2 acrobatics, which is huge. And so I just kill this Auroraville. He gets it up. I just wish, and then yes, I just side shocked because I was thinking maybe Iron Moth was gonna come in, but I get healed back up, go into Iron Bundle because I know. First off, Iron Bundle gets a defense boost, which I don't think you can see, but he was at like 400. He was at like 430 defense, and I don't think this thing gets a move to touch me. So I went in, but I also was fearing the belly drum, and because of booster energy popping, I'm now faster. He does belly drum, gets the citrus, which is scary. He's probably thinking, oh man, this might be game. Because I was thinking that if I didn't have Encore, this was going to be game. But I Encore, force it, and I just Hydro Pump. And I was going to Hydro Pump again because in my head I'm like, well, what are the chances he saves this? Because Iron Moth comes in, lives. But I'm like, I'm just going to play it safe because in case I'm wrong, yep, Encore ended. And so if I was him, I would have clicked um, a move and just basically sack this. But if I click Hydro Pump and miss it, then he would be rewarded. So I just played it safe. Good switch. I mean, so yeah. I decided just to let Iron Moth's got good special defense, so I just go ahead and decide to sack my Iron Bundle, which is usually I wouldn't because this is like I'm reading and I want this guy to be MVP. But if I get chip on this, then um, the fish just cleans up basically the fish or something else. So he's got discharge. He clicks it. I go Jolteon because Obviously, I resist it, but he could be thinking I have Volt Absorb, which is not a bad inference, but I don't. I just T-Bolt a couple times, because basically for Chiyu late game, he can't touch me, and Chiyu's actually got stupid good Spadef, like surprising. So I knew Iron Moth can't touch me. I just needed this thing chipped so I could use a dark move instead of a fire move. So I guaranteed killed, but I don't think it really mattered. So I actually protect, which is stupid in hindsight because I know he was thinking I was. I didn't realize he went for a discharge. To be honest, in the middle of the game, I saw my Iron Bundle was dead. I'm like, oh, um, I didn't realize it was due to discharge, but I just wanted to outspeed it. Outspeeds the Titan, so that sucked. But I just T-bolt, and then I Terror Blast. I guess just to show off the tech. Um, I that was okay, weird play. But he goes into Titan. I just let him Ice Shard because I needed a safe switch in. I needed to get in Chiyu really easily. Like I said, I get in Chiyu, and I'm Scarf. He does not Ice Shard. I mean, to be fair, it didn't matter. But he Fire Dances. Get the boost, might I say. But Dark Pulse just kills it. And that's the story of how I beat Zach in week 7. I'm now, let's see, I was 2-2, and I believe that means I've gone 3-0 the last 3 weeks, which I definitely have, but I didn't know how long my win streak was. And I've gotten some quality wins. GG, well played to Zach. It was an honor playing you. The team was stupid scary. I mean, as is Aurora Veil 5 setup mods. So Titan's an absolute demon, and so is Cress. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below something or other. I mean, you don't have to, but it's free, so why not? Um, but yeah, might I just add that? Oh, what was I gonna add? I finally got a good Chiyu game. I think Chiyu's the only core member of my team that's not had a thumbnail, which is pretty funny. Next week, we're going to be taking on Coach Name in the Celta Victini. It's going to be another banger. Like I said, thanks to Phony and Felom for the mocks, and peace out.